It's finally time to sell him. Get him out of my team right now.
Yo, listen up, Rue is stepping up the game. Where fantasy Premier League runs in his veins. From transfers to captains, he's always on top. Guiding you through every game week non-stop. They say Rue got that Salah flow. Welcome to the channel, enjoy the show. Wild cards, free hits with so much vibe. If you're hunting for success, then make sure you subscribe.
G'day, mate. Welcome back to the channel. My name's FPL Root and welcome back to another FPL video. So in today's video, we're going to be looking back at my Game Week 5 team and looking forward to my Game Week 6 team selection. We're talking about my captain and my transfers. Let's get into it. But first, we will start with my Game Week 5 team. But before anything, just make sure you do smash a like on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll start off in the defense. Absolutely terrible. Gabriel, only one getting returns. A player that I was going to sell for the last 2-3 weeks. Managed to get me the only returns out of my defence and goalkeeper. So really disappointed. Disappointed with Chilwell not playing either, as Chelsea did keep a clean sheet. Midfield, Saka was the only one that performed. Another disappointment. Eze, Rashford and Bremo and Son, especially as I did have Son captain. Spurs absolutely battered Sheffield United that game. I'm not too sure how they left it so late to win the game. But yeah, I'm happy with the Saka points. Up front, Haaland obviously didn't captain him, should have captained him. I did say on Twitter that he was the best captain option, but I just come back from South Korea, so I feel like I had to captain Son. Hopefully, thankfully, it wasn't too much of a difference in terms of 4 points, so it's not the end of the world. But yeah, disappointed I didn't captain Haaland. And Alvarez doing the business again. 14 points last week, 9 points this week. And now everyone wants to get him in. I did get him in Game Week 3, so really happy with that. And overall, my rank did drop about 100k. But I guess it's one of them ones where it's a good week to have a bad week, and we'll move on to Game Week 6 where things get a little bit interesting. So my defense is actually looking pretty good for this week, and even my goalkeeper, Onana, Burnley away, really good fixture. Made a huge error in the Champions League though against Bayern Munich, so I'm a bit worried that he could get rotated and benched, but I feel like he has to play. I spent that much money on him, and he is good going forward. But yeah, not too confident on Onana. Hopefully, I can make a goalkeeper change in the coming weeks. However, their fixtures are good, so hopefully, he can get a few clean sheets in before I do take him out. Estupinan, I am expecting him to come back in. He was rested or dropped, whatever your narrative is. Last game week for Brighton, but with Bournemouth at home, he's a must play, and hopefully he does come back into the team and gets attacking return and a clean sheet for me. Chilwell, another player that was dropped last week. Villa at home, hopefully he does come back in because yeah, it's a lot of money for a player that's not playing. If he doesn't, I'll probably be moving him on next week, but I am going to give him one more chance to play. Villa's not the easiest game. Villa are doing pretty well at the moment, and Chelsea are not. However, they are keeping clean sheets, so I can see that game being a 0-0, and hopefully Chilwell can play and get that clean sheet. Gabriel is in the starting lineup once again. I feel like I tell you all every week that he's coming out of my team, and he doesn't actually come out. He kind of escapes the chopping block. This week he will be coming out, but we'll talk about that later on in the video. Spurs at home, that game's going to be goals in it, and I don't fancy Arsenal keeping a clean sheet, or Spurs for that matter, which is why I got with Doggy on the bench. So midfield fixtures, two play each other, so we'll talk about them first. Saka, Spurs at home, Son, Arsenal away. I feel this game is going to have goals, so I'm pretty happy owning both, potentially two penalty takers too. Saka did get a goal and assist in the Champions League midweek, and we saw Son get his hat-trick before the international break, so hopefully they can repeat that and get a few goals in this game, with obviously Spurs winning. But yeah, anyway, this game's always got goals in it. I can't see a clean sheet. I'm just hopefully Son and maybe Saka, if Arsenal do score, can get on the score sheet. Next up, we've got Eze, Fulham at home. Been disappointing this season, only one attack and return. For me, I'm just going to keep him until the fixtures turn. I know he hasn't really been performing, but I can't at the moment see a clear move. Matoma hasn't really been performing, and I can't really see anyone else. Yes, I could go Ward-Prowse, but at the moment it's not a big threat for me. With Fulham at home next, I think he is a keep, and yeah, I'm happy to be starting him in my team this week. Rashford, Burnley away. Man United, they did score 3 goals against Bayern Munich. So if that's anything to go by, hopefully they can get a couple against Burnley. Um, Again, it's one of them ones where my players have good fixtures apart from Saka and Son. So I don't really want to be taking them out. So because Rashford and Eze would have been people that I will be looking to take out this week. But the fixtures do look really, really good. So I'm probably gonna wait and see next week and gonna roll at least one of my roll one of my 2 transfers, and then have a bit more to play with next week. Wemo, Everton at home, happy with this fixture. I think Mbeumo's started the season really, really well. Hopefully, he can do that against Everton and continue. Everton haven't looked great, or they haven't looked even bad. They've looked terrible this season, and I do fancy Brentford to put a few past them, and hopefully Mbeumo can be on the score sheet. Up front, we do have the 2 City boys this week. Captain will be Haaland. Both of them do have a really, really good fixture against Nottingham Forest at home. Hopefully Alvarez does start, as Pep did come out and say that he's undroppable, which basically means that he will be rested next game. Fingers crossed that he doesn't get rested and he plays, as I think there can be goals in this game. We all know how bad Nottingham Forest can be away from home, like last season, etc. Yeah, I have gone for Haaland captain. If Rashford was on form, you could argue Rashford, but for me, there's no other captain choice this week other than Haaland. He's the clear standout choice, and I think almost everyone will be going for him, unlike last week. In terms of overall of this team, I am pretty happy. I think even the teams that are playing each other, I think there'll be goals in that game. Really good fixtures for the defenders, and just hoping Rashford and Eze can step up and get a few points for this team, as they haven't really been pulling their weight the last few weeks. So my potential transfers, like I said, I've said this the last 3 weeks. Gabriel out. He is definitely coming out this week. And it's going to be either Botman or Trippier in. Botman is obviously, I'm saving 2 million, but I am losing the attacking threat. Trippier can get goals. He can get assists. Botman can score as well from set pieces, but Trippier is on them set pieces. So the assists are more likely. For me, though, I'll probably be going Botman to save that money. I don't need the money, but I think there's a lot to spend on a defender where he's not really showing attacking promise that much. And another reason is I think Botman can score from set pieces too. So I don't think I'm losing that much in terms of attacking threat currently. For me, another option could be Eze and Rashford out, but with them fixtures, there's no chance of that. I have looked at a Man City defender, Diaz, maybe even someone like Kyle Walker, but for me, it's not worth the risk. I don't want the headache of worrying about Man City's lineups. For me, Botman, Newcastle have some really, really great fixtures coming up. They got their clean sheet against Brentford as well, and they got a clean sheet against Milan. So they have 2 newly promoted sides next, so Sheffield United and Burnley at home. Then they've got West Ham, Palace, and Wolves. So some really, really great fixtures for Newcastle, and I think I'll be bringing in Botman this week. But if you have liked this video, please make sure you give it a like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Around 70% of you watch but don't subscribe, so it really costs nothing and it really does help me out. So I really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next video. And good luck for the game week. Cheers.